Hello guys, welcome back to another Primark video. Today we are on our 5th Primark from the 6th Legion, LEMAN RUSS, Space Wolves. If I remember correctly from Breaky's video, he told us that Space Wolves like to drink, so we will drink as well. But before we start, I just want to let you know, usually I upload Mondays and Thursdays. You clearly see that this video is on Friday, and you might be wondering, why didn't I upload yesterday? I'll tell you. Shortly, on Wednesday, I was celebrating my birthday. On Thursday, meaning yesterday, a friend from UK arrived to me. So we're gonna hang out, and now in Lithuania, in the city I live in, there's a thing called Eurošventė, which is like celebration. It's like for a whole week, starting from today evening. It's gonna be like celebrations, like a lot of like stuff going on, which is why I think for the next week I might disappear. So I'm letting you know now that next week Monday is probably not gonna be an upload, so very sorry about that, but you guys should also enjoy summertime if you can, obviously. And okay, enough about me. We are here for the man himself, the Wolfman. I got my beer with me. Another sip and let's begin.
There are those who undervalue the penal battalions, but they should consider this. Should a man who has wronged the Emperor be allowed to wrong him further? For each man executed is a man who can no longer serve, and to fail in service to the Emperor is the greatest of sins.
Loyalty is a trait that defines the heroic prime.
From what I got from that quote, is that he's like, in my eyes again, I don't know yet, but he's afraid to fail the Emperor.
Primarchs who refuse the temptations of chaos. Each Primarch weighed the cost of betraying their Imperium by clashing blades and bolters with their brothers. For some, the Imperium would be secondary, yet compatible of their true allegiances, whilst for others their allegiance to the Emperor would be unshakable. But there is only one Primarch whose loyalty is truly ironclad, with no hesitation to reject the poisoned chalice of chaos. Though seen by many of his brothers as a butcher of men, he would nonetheless be the Emperor's greatest executioner and loyal servant.
He's an executioner of the Emperor, that's cool.
The Wolf King of Fenris, LEMAN RUSS. The young Primarch would land on the icy death world of Fenris, his incubation pod plummeting into the flank of a vast mountain. Despite the harsh weather, the infant would be found by a she-wolf, a gigantic Fenrisian thunderwolf. Despite its ferocious nature, the wolf would nurture the child and raise it within its wolf pack.
He was raised by a fucking wolf, bro. That's so fucking cool.
A third child to raise alongside its own children, the male wolves, whom would be known as Freki and Geri. During the season of Hellwinter, the child and the wolf pack would scavenge for food within the territory of Thengir, king of the Russ. Escaping with their food, the king would send a raiding party after the wolves, armed with poisonous arrows and blades of sharpened steel. The child would attempt to defend them, being
Oh, sorry. So, as far as I understand, the Lion's world wasn't also advanced like Jagatai Khan, because his world also like had horses and arrows. Basically, there's like no futuristic stuff going on.
injured trying to protect his adoptive mother and killing dozens of men with his bare hands. The she-wolf would die, but the tribesmen of the Russ would realize the creature bearing its fangs to be a small boy and lower their weapons. The child would be led to their king, and with his brothers Freki and Geri at his side, the chieftain would see great potential in the young boy and order him to be given a place within his household. The boy would learn to laugh and to sing and understand his human traits. Even at such a young age, he would learn to speak and master the battle techniques of axes and swords. With this, he would be named by the king, LEMAN of the RUSS. His exploits would be legendary on Fenris.
I'm sorry, every time someone says LEMAN RUSS, the only thing that comes to my mind is the tank from Imperial Guard. I only envision the fucking tank.
Said to battle entire armies of rival tribes alone, to uproot great oak trees with his bare hands, and to even wrestle the gigantic Fenrisian mammoths of the wilds. With time, the aging king would die, leaving the RUSS alone as his successor. Under the rule of their new Wolf King, the people of Fenris would thrive, the RUSS's deeds even reaching the scouting parties of the Emperor of Mankind. Recognizing these incredible feats to be those of his son, the Emperor traveled to Fenris and disguised himself to venture into the court of the RUSS. Meeting LEMAN, the Emperor would challenge the youth to 3 trials. Knowing the proud RUSS would not bend his knee without proof of his acumen, the Wolf King would decide the nature of the challenges.
Oh, so LEMAN RUSS chooses the 3 trials.
First, the 2 would indulge in an eating challenge. The Emperor would eat more than any man at the RUSS's table, save for the Wolf King. For the second challenge, the 2 would drink, and by the time the Emperor had drunk his 6th barrel of Fenrisian mead, the 2 would conclude that there was no more mead to drink. The Wolf
That's kind
King
of
would
cool.
drain every ounce of alcohol within the feast hall.
So like,
Faith.
if they both drank 6 barrels, so there was only 12 barrels.
In both
Okay.
challenges, the Emperor would grow angry, decrying the Wolf King as a drunkard and a glutton, unable to achieve anything more in life with exception to stuffing his face and bellowing hollow boasts of glory. The RUSS would declare his final challenge, drawing his sword from its scabbard. They would face each other in combat, the Emperor throwing his disguise to one side and revealing the splendor and glory of his power armor. The Emperor would not lose, and within an hour of being knocked unconscious by the Allfather's power glove, LEMAN would admit defeat and swear fealty to the Emperor, with a broken fang jutting from his bloodied smile.
But wait, at this time, LEMAN RUSS didn't have any his Space Marine gear, and Emperor literally just flexed on him with his wealth. Basically, Emperor had his full power armor and his sword, while LEMAN RUSS had regular armor and sword made like in Middle Ages. That's not fair.
Under the tutelage of the Emperor, LEMAN would learn of the Imperium's star-spanning technologies, understanding the finer points of High Gothic, and earning the Emperor's approval to engage in the Great Crusade. He would meet the only other brother to so far be found during the scouring, Horus Lupercal. Horus would see his new brother as a savage and treat him with jealousy, masked as disdain. But the RUSS would nonetheless seek to ease tensions between himself and his brother. LEMAN would then be given command of his legion, the Space Wolves, and gifted his thrice-blessed suit of power armor and the legendary Frostblade, Mjolnir. Forged with the teeth of the great Kraken of Fenris, the blade was said to be strong enough to cleave its ice mountains in 2.
No, I keep also forgetting Warhammer, the whole universe has so many different types of creatures. You know, how, again, we only learn by the main. Oh my god, dude, the bear is already hitting very hard. We learn about the main ones, but there's probably thousands of other species little in between, you know, all the main ones.
During the Great Crusade, LEMAN RUSS would gain a reputation as a cunning and fierce warrior. Whilst fighting the Wheel of Fire campaign, the Space Wolves would lose a third of their legion's numbers to the onslaught of orcs. Yet for his efforts, the RUSS would be rewarded with the fortress monastery known as the Fang to be built on Fenris. He would also be gifted the Spear of RUSS, forged by the Emperor's own hand, which had previously been known as the Dionysian Spear. Though LEMAN would see little of the Emperor during the Great Crusade, he would be mentored and tempered by Malcador the Sigillite's wisdom.
I heard that Malcador, I don't know from where, I think my friend told me that Malcador is super cool. When Emperor, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, when the Emperor went on Horus' ship, Malcador was the guy who sat on the golden throne.
Forming between them an unshakable
Of course he died, but he was very strong if he was capable on, well, sitting on it.
bond. Due to his fiery temper and boisterous personality, the RUSS would inevitably clash with his brother Primarchs. During the Dulan campaign, the Space Wolves would fight alongside the Dark Angels. The Dulan planet's leader would verbally insult Leman Russ, stoking his rage, and leading him to vow to kill him personally.
Leman Russ strikes me like a person who, like, doesn't really, I'm sorry to say it, he doesn't give a fuck if someone insults him. I think of him like that.
As the two legions besieged the throne room, Leman would burst through the doors at the moment where Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the First Legion, would behead the planet's ruler. Denied his retribution, Leman Russ would demand penance from the Lion for his lost honor. The Lion would refuse, leading to the Primarchs to brawl for an entire week without pause.
Jesus.
On the seventh day, the RUSS would realize the immaturity of their actions and laugh uncontrollably. With the Lion seeing this jest as a mockery to his honor, he would use the opportunity to strike the RUSS unconscious. And as the Primarch was roused from his dormant state, the First Legion would leave the system, fueling a feud between the legions which would last into the millennia to follow, with both chapters adopting the custom of their chosen champions dueling for the honor of their Primarchs.
I think that's kind of cool. Something happened and now their chapters have like this, I don't know, maybe like a yearly contest on whose chapter is cooler. I think that's nice. Friendly competition.
RUSS would also be sent to retrieve Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters, to be brought before the Emperor. The Red Angel had sought to implant his legions Astartes with the Butcher's Nails brain implants, to which the Emperor would demand.
I still don't understand why would Angerman would put those nails in his head, and why would his Space Marines also would want to put those nails in their heads?
Him to relent, sending his most loyal son to bring Angron to justice.
Angron.
On Malkova, the two Primarchs would clash. The RUSS would restrain his martial prowess as he was instructed to by the Emperor. However, this restraint would lead to the RUSS being bested by the Red Angel, and his legion would undergo the foul surgeries of the Butcher's Nails.
Oh! But wait, I still don't understand. Why would they want to do that voluntarily? But imagine there's a world where Space Wolves win, and my god, the Angron Legion, I don't remember their name yet, sorry guys. Imagine the world where Leman Russ wins, and the Angry Legion doesn't undergo the surgery. Bro, I'm so fried, I'm so sorry.
Despite his many rivals, Leman was regarded with respect by some of his brothers, particularly Robute Guilliman, who saw Leman as one of 3 other Primarchs who always served the Emperor's will with utmost conviction. The others being Rogel Dawn, Sanguinius, and Ferrus Manus, regarded by Guilliman as the Dauntless Few. Guilliman even proposed that his legion of the Ultramarines could win any war outright if only one of those Primarchs, including the RUSS, fought beside him. Though as the Great Crusade came to a close, Leman Russ would earn a nickname within the inner circle of his brother Primarchs, the Emperor's Executioner. During the Horus Heresy, Magnus the Red would defy the Emperor's decree of the Treaty of Nicaea. Attempting to warn the Emperor of the betrayal of Horus Lupercal, Magnus would irrevocably damage the Emperor's Webway project.
Oh my god, guys, very, very sorry. Whatever, I'll cut this out.
flooding the webway with demons and dooming humanity to continue traversing the ever deadlier
You will never know what just fucking happened.
warp and incur its wrath for millennia. Sent by the Emperor, Russ would be tasked with bringing Magnus to Terra to face judgment, but be manipulated by orders from Horus Lupercal. His orders now stating to eliminate the sons of Magnus. Prospero would burn, and the Thousand Sons would be decimated, but Magnus would nonetheless escape into the warp. Leaving Prospero, the Space Wolves would be forced into a rout by the Alpha Legion, taking shelter.
So far, like, everything Space Wolf do, they fucking lost. They almost lost to the Orcs. The friendly duel against those not Blood Angels, the First Legion, they lost. They lost the fight with Angron. They let Magnus Legion escape. I don't know.
In the Alaxis Nebula. Surrounded and abandoned by the White Scars Legion when called for aid, Russ would confide with Bjorn the Fell-Handed, stating that blindly serving the Emperor as his executioner was a grave mistake. Vowing to forge his own path, Leman Russ would lead his forces in a desperate last stand against the 20th Legion. The Space Wolves would be saved, begrudgingly by the Dark Angels, and return to Holy Terra. During his time on Terra, Russ would aid Malcador and the Knights Errant in planning the assassination of Horus Lupercal. Dawn and Sanguinius would implore Russ and his legion to stay on Terra to defend against the oncoming traitor forces, but Leman would resolve to kill Horus himself. With the aid of the Knights Errant, Russ would track the location of the vengeful spirit and prepare to duel Horus Lupercal. With the aid of his rune priests, the Russ would look for a weakness in the War Master by travelling to the Underverse, known by the Imperium as the Warp, and venture to Surtur's Door. The Russ would confront the Earl King, a warp entity that collected the souls of Fenrisians who die outside of battle. Before he could be consumed by the Earl King's Vulfen, Leman Russ offered to complete one of 4 tasks in exchange for his soul.
Okay.
Accepting his terms, the Earl King challenged Leman to drink the damned soul of Amarok's bowl until it was dry. Second, he would wrestle an ancient crone, and finally, move the Earl King's great slumbering wolf. Leman Russ had failed all challenges, but for his 4th.
Sorry, at this point, can my boy, my friend, can he get any dubs?
He would need to explain what the challenges he had attempted to accomplish really were. Russ assessed that the bowl represented the changing seasons of Fenris, the old crone was a manifestation of age, and that the wolf was death. The chamber crumbled, and a mirror of Russ dressed in finery would reveal the secret of the Dionysian spear. It held a portion of the Emperor's power, and could illuminate the truth to those who were pierced by its tip. The false Russ would impale Leman with the spear, revealing the true nature of the Primarchs. Despairing for a time, Russ would nonetheless emerge from Surtur's Door, with the knowledge that he had the capacity to end the war should he win his duel with Horus.
Okay, that's like very important task for our man. Will he be able to do it? Wink, wink.
With the aid of his wolf lords, Leman Russ would ambush the vengeful spirit and confront Horus.
Okay.
Offered to join the traitors, Russ flatly refused Horus's offer and fought the War Master.
This, I respect. Horus was like, yo boy, can you join us? Leman Russ just said no.
Allowing a chance for Horus to wound him with his lightning claw, Russ would use this feint to impale Horus with the Spear of Russ. However, due to a moment's hesitation, his strike would land, but not be fatal. Badly wounded, Russ would be dragged from the battle by Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Grimnar Blackblood, as hundreds of space wolves swarmed the War Master. Russ would fall into a comatose state as Abaddon the Despoiler pursued the depleted space wolves to the Yarant system. With the aid of Ravengard Primarch Corvus Corax, the space
He looks so cool. But I still don't understand how the Raven Guard is a stealth faction when we have jetpacks and power
Space
claws.
Wolves would manage to escape the Yaren system, with LEMAN RUSS passing on the Dionysian spear to Bjorn. The RUSS would not be present for the Siege of Terra, and would not return until well after the entombing of the Emperor on the Golden Throne. Returning to Fenris one last time, LEMAN RUSS would host a great feast, then address his sons before embarking into the Eye of Terror.
Listen but closely, brothers, for my life breath is all but spent. There shall come a time far from now when our chapter itself is dying, and as I am now dying, and our foes shall gather to destroy us. Then, my children, I shall listen for your call in whatever realm of death holds me. And come I shall, no matter what the laws of life and death forbid. At the end I will be there, for the final battle. For the wolf time.
Damn,
This
bro,
tale would be
that was so hard. It gave me like the chills, bro.
retold every 1,000 years by Bjorn the Fell-Handed, the now great wolf of Fenris. The Space Wolves would on occasion scout the galaxy in a great hunt in search for their Primarch, but to this day,
Oh, so they don't know where he is.
to no avail.
Oh my god.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. Sons of the Praetorian, raise your fists, for in my next Vox transmission, we recall the deeds of Primarch Rogel Dawn.
Again, guys, thank you for Remembrancer for this video. It was epic. Dude, now I actually wonder, from what I heard again, because like it or not, dude, I have friends who play Warhammer and we talk like, well, a couple years ago, Gilliman returned. Even in Bricky's video, is like 5 years old, he said something of the line that Gilliman is at the moment the only Primarchs who returned for Loyalist side, but like a year ago, I think Lionel Johnson also returned. I wonder, like, dude, I think the LEMAN RUSS return is gonna be epic. But as he said in that quote, that it's gonna be like the final battle. And that's the sad part, because I don't think we're gonna get the final battle, because Games Workshop is gonna milk this forever, and we all know we're gonna love it. At least I will. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this reaction again. Please leave a like. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it. Please subscribe, honestly. It kinda, you know, makes me feel good. And also, I wanted to thank you guys. And again, I don't understand how YouTube works, but I don't know, like, is Jagatai Khan is like a top Primarch? Dude, it's crazy. Like, the first 3 primers like basically get like 100 views. The Jagatai Khan is like 400, almost 500 right now. It's insane. Thank you guys for that. It really means a lot that you guys actually watch these videos. Personally, I try to look at my uploads myself and I'm like, bruh, I can't believe that there's actually someone is listening to me. Anyway, I don't want to prolong this video. Ciao, bye bye. Yeah, bye.